good news. If this doesn't sound like I'm fucking winging it around, I'm picking up the mic next time.
All right.
Because I'm gonna sit back because my fucking back kills me after this.
I know, and I feel like
shit. Whatever, it's fine.
That's
The internet's just gonna go out.
we don't need internet anyway. My roommate might doing some homework, but that's about it. I think that's a good way to start the episode.
We're gonna use that as our intro.
Sure. I mean, it's just the chaos of everything.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm Isaac.
I'm okay. I'm Andy.
Yeah, I'm adding to the chaos.
So we did a little bit of a Halloween episode last week, but it was more so just like going through movies and kind of like talking about them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I really enjoyed whenever we were talking about like the spookiness of like haunted shit, like you going into your friend's house. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because as much as I like talking about movies, we're not
a movie podcast.
No, we're not. And we're experts in nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a callback. That is a major callback. But like, that was just something like when we were talking about it, I still enjoyed it, but I was like, I'm missing the chaos and just the overall spookiness of that episode.
There was like about halfway through the episode, I was like, this is fun. I like talking about movies, but if we just like talked about like our own experiences, that would be much more what we do. Yeah,
so much more on par.
Right.
The Christmas episode worked, but the Halloween episode didn't work.
Yeah, because the Christmas episode was a lot of arguing.
That's why it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did argue a smidgen. Well, good news, we can talk about Thanksgiving movies.
What, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? Like, what other Thanksgiving?
Is that a Thanksgiving movie?
It's either, well, do they have a Thanksgiving specific movie?
That's what I mean.
I feel like I think those two just go hand in hand. Unless there is a Thanksgiving episode, movie, whatever you want to call it.
Is there? Do you know any movie, like, I cannot think of anyone that has Thanksgiving as like the major plot point.
No. No.
Well, I don't either. That's what I mean. I can't think of any, because I was thinking Christmas with the Cranks, but then in the fucking movie title, it's Christmas.
Thanksgiving with the Cranks.
Yeah, Thanksgiving with the Cranks. But yeah, I can't, because I don't even know fucking Thanksgiving's in that movie. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I keep thinking of the dinner in the Christmas Vacation.
But that only has a turkey.
Well, I know, but it's also it's Christmas dinner. It's not like...
Yeah, another movie with Christmas in the name. Oh, my goodness. For all those who aren't watching the actual video, Andy's a dunce and dropped his notepad.
Listen, I have to... I'm using pen and paper. We're in the 21st century. And instead of using my phone to look at notes, because...
Or your iPad that you literally had last episode.
I realized that on the road. When we were driving over here, that I didn't have my iPad. Yeah. But I'm fine with writing things down. I was born in the 90s.
Yeah, where we wrote things.
When it
was a big writing year of the 90s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Did you take a typing class?
Yeah, everyone takes a typing class.
Some people don't.
That's stupid.
I think I asked someone that was even older than us recently that said they didn't take a typing class.
How? Well, I guess maybe older by how many years?
I can't remember. I feel like I can't remember if it was my roommate's parents or like one of her parents or something else.
Okay, well then that makes sense.
But my mom took a typing class, and she's older than them. That doesn't make
sense. That doesn't make sense.
Right?
Then.
Yeah.
I'm back on the fence of it. Not on the fence. I'm on the side of it. Doesn't make sense.
You went back and forth so many times. You're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, you know what? No, it doesn't make sense.
Look, you don't. I think somebody who's already on a side and they want to stay firmly planted on that side, don't know if I want to have a conversation with that person or not.
Oh, so you're a politician?
Yeah. Well, no. I would be. That would be a politician if they were just like, I'm dug in. I'm staying on my mind. I'm like, hey, fuck it, let's do it. Give me the flip flop. I don't care.
Okay.
And eventually I'll pick a side. But, until then, let me flip-flop.
I'll let you flip flop.
yeah. That's pretty much what I'm doing with this sentence right now.
Yeah, it's like I'll let you keep going until you realize like where am I headed with this?
And it's nowhere.
Yeah.
I never have an intention to go anywhere, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that about me.
Which I'll get you back on track. We were supposed to, or I mean, not supposed to. We're still early in the episode. You wanted to talk more about some spooky stuff.
Well, yeah.
And I brought it up at the beginning of the episode. Last week was the Halloween episode. This one will come out a little after, but not the end of the world. We're kind of in that spooky season. Like the season of this podcast so far has just been, it's got a bit of a spooky vibe to it.
For sure.
So I don't give a fuck. We can just keep going with this vibe for as long as we want.
Okay. Well, I mean, my thing, like I said, it's not really Halloween-y, and I told you it could be either something you've been like, I've never heard of that before, or I have heard of this and that's stupid. And then that'll be that much, and then we'll go to your handwritten notes.
Okay.
Because
there's something about these handwritten notes.
I don't know, because I'm going to pull out my phone.
Oh.
Because I had to look it up, because I don't know. Like I could explain it, but I didn't know if I would do it any justice.
Okay.
Or if you maybe heard it, maybe you're just like, I've heard of that before, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, pretty impressive that you can continue a train of thought while like looking at your phone. Because previously, whenever we were doing the podcast and I would do that, you would just go on and you'd just be talking, and then I would just come back in like a minute later and be like, "So what are your thoughts on that?" And I'd be like, "I don't know."
I mean, I already just had it pulled up. I mean, even if we were talking right now, look, I've lived with my roommate long enough that I've learned two things. First, when to block something out, and two, when to multitask. Multitasking rarely happens, so, but I know how to do it. But my thought of something spooky, and I had to bring it in, of course, to something that could also, I guess if you look at it, could also be a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Not really a conspiracy theory, but I think we could be like up there with that. And this one's a classic. And that's the spookiness and creepiness of, do you think, Andy, that we are in a simulation? And for that, it would be the simulation theory.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can read what the definition of it says. The actual thing it's called is simulation hypothesis. So, do you want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Okay, I won't read the whole entire thing, but this is just like a short little tidbit of it. The simulation hypothesis proposes that what humans experience as the world is actually a simulated reality, such as a computer simulation in which humans themselves are constructs. There has been much debate over this topic, ranging from philosophical discourse to practical applications in computing. So that, like I said, not to do with ghouls or ghosts or anything, but
I'm glad that we went this route.
Yeah,
because
it's still spooky.
Uh-huh.
It's still spooky.
So I sighed right whenever you brought it up, because I was like, this is like this fucking theory is like so weird to me.
Uh-huh.
But then I think about, there's sometimes whenever I'm driving on the highway,
you're like, did I just glitch?
It's like I'm driving and I look, like we're normal human beings. We look in the mirrors to see like what's around us.
You're not making this sound any more real to me, Andy.
I'll look in the rear view mirror and I'll see a car, and then like there's no exits around, and then I'll look in the rear view mirror again and it's not there. So like that, so it's like a glitch, but I've seen that before in like,
I think you're falling asleep at the wheel. I think that's what's going on.
I mean, there's definitely been times whenever I've been driving and I would just like come back into consciousness and be like, I just drove for 30 minutes. I don't know how I got here.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's a common thing here over here as well.
So
yeah.
so you're just like, you're saying like that doesn't fucking matter, like what I just brought up. So like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me?
Well, no. I want to know.
You just want a conversation.
Well, yeah, exactly. I want a conversation about, because it's a spooky topic. Do you think we're in a simulation?
No, I don't.
No.
And I don't really have much more to give you with that. That you have to think about the kind of person or people that we are. I don't think a computer would ever create that.
But see, that's just it, though. The more and more that are. So I guess, how do I want to put it? So that makes sense. That totally makes sense. But my response to that is, it would be saying that it is whatever would be controlling our simulation would be the most end-all be-all form of technology. Like somehow we've already reached the point of technology, like the highest point, and that is now generating this. So like, you know, we didn't think anything was going to get better than wagon and wheels.
Well, and this goes back to kind of a conversation that we were talking about when we were talking about giants. Because we were talking
still for giants.
Of course. I mean, giant, yeah.
Way for it.
I mean, if it's a simulation, then anything can happen.
Absolutely.
There's
that's
giant,
why.
yeah.
That's why I literally sit there and like squint my eyes sometimes. I'm like, oh, when I open them, there's gonna be a fucking giant in front of me.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then whoever is programming you can read your mind.
Is
creating your mind.
Is absolute dog shit, by the way. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, fucker. My life's been fucking shit lately.
Yeah, what the hell?
Why the fuck do you program me to be a fucking analyst?
But see that. But see, that's just it though. Like, the computer would know that, like, if you're playing a video game and it's good all the time, you would know something's up. You know, like, so if it throws in that,
like, the game is like, if the game is fun,
well, like, if something's not, like, you know, challenging you, or something like sad is happening, like, you would just get too like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so, like, if they throw that in there, that makes it seem more realistic. This is also wildly, you know, skeptical, and I think, but I mean, even then, I think I don't know who, but anytime like I've heard about this conversation, way more intelligent people than myself, they kind of side with this.
I think I just said I just figured out like a good way to just connect something that was in my notes from my phone to this.
Okay.
And it's just, we need to try to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on this podcast.
I would love that. I would love that.
Listen, great dude, very interesting, very intelligent. He just goes on people's podcasts from like what I've just experienced. Mm-hmm. Like, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Mm-hmm. He was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's been on Two Bears, One Cave. Whoever the fuck. Bert Kreischer and the other guy that's a lot more funny.
Come on.
What is his name?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, I'm not going to... I'm just...
I'm not going to continue the conversation.
I'm just not going to continue it. And I'm not comparing us to any of them.
Yeah.
But if he's just going on there and he's just like going with the vibe of, it's just like Theo Vaughn is just like randomly says like, so how long do you think the universe is going to survive? And then like Neil deGrasse Tyson just goes into it and he's just like, well, this and like he just keeps talking. And then I would love that. But of course, like Theo Vaughn, like he's a very funny dude and he's just like going on with it. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. Even though, like, you know, he's just like, I wasn't expecting this much of an answer.
Oh, yeah. Like, and I think, like, if we ever have that chance to get somebody on there like that, I would love to tell them I didn't understand that. I shook my head, but I didn't understand it. But I would love for that to happen, because I don't know if he would be into that theory or not. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure he's been asked.
I'm sure.
Numbers of questions, mm-hmm. like, and they've all just ranged from like the things that he is in, like, knows very well, and then things that he's just has to guess about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that that has come up at some point.
Yeah, which,
So,
I mean, speaking of him and just the universe, another spooky thing, black holes. I saw this video of him explaining what would happen if two black holes ate each other.
I think I've seen that video, but do you remember any of it? Because I can't really remember.
Well, yeah, like, they would both be, like, anything around them, they would both be kind of, I think he said that it would either counteract, like, its rotation for both of them. So any, like, sort of planets that would be around them, they would both be getting sucked in, but, like, they would almost, how do I put it? This is why I don't. This is why I'm not a scientist. But
yeah, this is why you're not a scientist.
Yeah, but within reality, they would actually just join together and create a bigger black hole. And I was like, that doesn't. That.
So it's like an amoeba. It's like two amoebas are like coming together, and then they just.
And then another crazy universe fact that's also kind of spooky is that when the Big Bang happened, it happened faster than the speed of light.
There's something
like how does that make sense? And like even just thinking about that gives me chills. Like I don't
know if I'm like if this is the person programming me, but
you just it's not like
But yeah, just like someone talks about the speed of light, and I'm like, I mean, what even is that?
Speed of light.
I understand, but in my mind, I'm just like, okay, the speed of light, or like going faster than the speed of light, and like, okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense.
What about just not even that? What about just the size of the universe in general? Does that like just you're just like that's the size of the universe?
Kind of. I mean, because there's like so many. I mean, I definitely think that like there's like the universe is huge.
Yeah, it gives me the willies.
And it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
But then there's like moments where like you're just like at work, and then you meet someone that lives in California that's originally from like your hometown and was friends with your mom or something.
It's wild. Yeah.
And you're just like, why? Mm-hmm. Why is this like? Why is the universe so huge? And then I mean, comparatively, the United States or the Earth to the universe, it's just like it's very negligible.
Yeah.
But even still, like there's those sort of things that are just like, why am I meeting people that I basically already know?
Yeah, I had somebody who, oh God, where did he go? He went to like. Shoot, I think he went to like Korea or something, like way, way far away. And somehow the first day he was there, he found somebody that he like, somebody's parents that he grew up with.
See, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and he was like, but then that would be like simulation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Right? Like, I will bring it back because I will say there's one thing that, like, I know it's my phone, and I'm like, I hate it. But it makes me think more that it's a simulation every time that it happens when, like, I just think about something. Like, I'll think about, let me see. I'll think about a video game. Mm-hmm. Say, I'll think of Dead Rising.
Okay.
Old Xbox 360 game. I will just think about it. What comes up on my phone? Dead Rising. And it's just like, I didn't even say it.
There's that, and then there's also like the song coming up on the radio. Because the radio is even more freaky than like your liked songs on Spotify or something. Because like there's at least a chance, like a higher chance of it just like popping up if it's on your liked songs. But like on the radio, it's got millions of songs to choose from.
Yeah.
So where do you stand on this theory? Because like you're making it seem like you're like, oh, I definitely believe we're living in a simulation, but then you'll just like randomly just make a comment. You're like, I don't fucking believe that. no fucking way. I'm not a lunatic, am I?
Well, that's just it. I'm back and forth on it.
We are conspiracy theorists that don't believe anything. We're like we should basically just be wearing tin hats and just like saying fuck the government.
But see, I think that is a good thing. I think if you're ever so 100% sure on something, it doesn't do you any good.
Well, yeah, because like what if someone just is like, hey, it's been proven that this theory of like us being in a simulation isn't true, then like one of us would be like, I was just kidding, man.
Yeah,
I never was serious.
Yeah, and that's just with anything. Like if someone was like, fuck, I don't even know. Like if someone said, hey, 2 + 2 is 4, and be like, yeah, obviously I'm 100% certain on that. And if they somehow figured something out that 2 + 2 doesn't actually equal 4, then I don't know. Like I just don't think you should ever be 100% certain on anything.
I think it also is like the my brother and my cousin both not believing in aliens.
Oh, that just burns
the
fire brighter for me.
It's very just, it feels so unlikely that there's not someone else out there other than us.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they are just like so gung ho of like it's like against science that anything extraterrestrial exists.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mean there, yeah, it's never been like factually proven. Like there's nothing that really proves it, other than like there's definitely been some weird shit going on in the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that would most definitely prove it is literally the thing that they just had. What was it? I don't remember when it was.
Did you know that there was some sort of someone saw Bigfoot recently?
No.
There was, I don't know, honestly. Now that now that I've like talked about it, I talked with my roommate about it. I'm wondering if it was a dream, because like I've talked to so many people about this, and they've all been like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have not heard.
So
that.
I remember vividly seeing, like, I was on TikTok and it was a video of someone, I think it was someone on a train, and it was just, I kind of want to stand up and like show it. It was like,
okay,
I'm going to try to take my mic with me. It was like Bigfoot is walking through this field.
Okay, Andy's just currently just taking very small steps right now.
I mean, like, I can't really walk too far.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to tell people who aren't watching.
And then I'm not gonna crouch down, but he crouches down, and he's just like, he does it in like such a way that like, it's like, that's definitely someone just in a suit,
Mm-hmm.
just like trying to like get your. There was something else happening in politics or something like that, that people were saying like that, like the whole reason why they did this is just to get you to think that Bigfoot exists instead of paying attention to the like media or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what they try to do with aliens. Like,
right. And before you go on, I saw a really funny comment, and this is why I kind of think that it was real instead of just in my dreams. Someone made a comment that said, that's not Bigfoot, that's Jimmy or something. And if you played GTA, then you would know that like there was this dude named Jimmy that like ran around in the forest like with the Bigfoot suit on. Oh, yeah. And I laughed. God. Maybe in my dreams, maybe in real life, for like a good 5 minutes on that.
You know, there's a part of me that really hopes this was in your dream. Like
that's so specific.
I know, but that's what makes it even funnier.
That could just prove that we're in a simulation.
Yeah, I think it could.
Yeah, but if it's that vivid.
Yeah, but I don't want to drop this point because, they just had like a Congress hearing like a month or two ago about aliens.
And I think
that they blatantly said, yes, there's aliens, and no one cares.
Well, that's
they said it, and everyone's like, yeah.
People are so weird. People are so, like, there are some people that are just like, come on, just fucking abduct me already. Like, life fucking sucks on the earth. Just take me at this point. Like, shove something up my ass. Like it's like there are
I
so
don't think you have to
many-
worry about an alien doing that to you. You can have anybody do that.
Well,
to you.
and there's a lot of different communities in the world now that are just like
what was the community that you typed in on Reddit?
Columbus freaks.
Yeah,
There's just
I'm sure you can find somebody on the Columbus Freaks
Yeah.
to shove something up your ass.
yeah.
Can we get a quick Google search on Columbus Freaks and see how fast we can find somebody who will shove something up our ass?
Sure. Surely. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
we can even. I can do that tonight. I can just go in there and just like, who's into butt stuff and shoving it up me.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
I can't remember where we were heading. I feel like
I don't remember either, but I do know that I at least want to get to one of your handwritten points because this is by far not been a spooky episode.
no. It's. I mean, I'm glad that it went in this direction because I feel like what I wrote down isn't spooky at all. It's just. I think it's a good thing to have for what can be done in the future.
So we're doing one of those plan aheads that we won't
Kind-
remember plan aheads.
Well, I have it written in my phone, and it's something that's like actually in my head of like this is like it's a lot similar to the multiple different like extra videos that we've thought about putting out
Okay.
of just like doing something fun that isn't necessarily the podcast, but it also has the same like
Mm-hmm.
vibe of it. So it kind of it goes into just doing random things that just don't necessarily make sense, but it's something that I've seen people do.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever, first of all, what are your thoughts on serial killers and people kind of obsessing over them?
That's a good
Because
question.
I didn't think about this until the drive over here. Jeffrey Dahmer was a guy that didn't really like care about himself. Like whenever he got caught and whatever, he was just like, just fucking kill me at this point. But then he started getting like fan mail, and he was like, oh, this is awesome. And it's like it was like feeding into him, and he was like being romanticized basically. And he's been dead for years. I don't know the exact year that he died, but
October, I don't know.
yeah, right. But like, it's gonna be Halloween soon, and there's gonna be people dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween this year because of
the Netflix. Yeah.
yeah.
Wild.
So
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it either until right now. So first of all, I want your thoughts on that. Just like is it, or even like whenever podcasts, like not us, because we're not a serial killer podcast or like a true crime podcast, but what are your thoughts whenever podcasts will like tell the stories of the serial killers?
Well, I think in that case, I don't think anybody's trying to like fantasize it or, you know, like get some weird kick out of it. Like, oh man, this guy was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear about this? I think some people are just so. First, I think it's wild. I don't know why people are obsessed by this. My roommate obsessed with it. Why? I don't understand it. Anytime something like that's on, she's like, "Ooh, this guy just beat someone to death and then just drank out of their skull. That's rad." I'm just like, that's not cool at all. But like, I think for a lot of people, it's either A, you just can't stand what they did, or did I say A or one?
A.
Oh boy, it's been a long day. I think I said A early.
And 2.
Yeah, I almost said that. Or B, where was I going with it? Oh yeah, or B, you can't fathom that, like the thought of someone doing something that crazy and so not human that you just can't help but be like, I gotta know what somewhere I'm gonna figure out why this guy did it.
So
And I think that's why people watch it. But But overall, I think it's just wild that people get that interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are like. I do think though. The more it gets talked about, though, I do see the part of a lot of people where they say you're actually just making them more famous, and it's actually making it worse for like the families, which I do totally get that as well.
Yeah, and that's where my issue is with it, because like, even if the person is dead, their legend is living on, and the families, I for sure have to be like hating every minute of it. Like,
For sure.
my son was killed by this person. Like, why are you talking about it or whatever? Even if it is like a educational sort of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be like, this is literally the same exact fucking picture every documentary uses for my kid. I got 1,000 other ones, but no, he's got to be known as the guy with glasses with a parted haircut that got fucking beat to death. Thanks. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably exactly what they're thinking. They're like, Jesus fucking Christ, people. Like, why? Again.
Well, and this kind of connects to the whole simulation theory of like, why would, I mean, I guess that also like goes along with the video game. Like, you're adding in like an extra threat to keep things spicy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the idea that someone is out there like genuinely to kill and not just like do it on accident. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't, like, those are the things where I think the world can't be a simulation, because these are just things that, like, I don't know, they're so out there. Like, imagine someone putting together, like, building a person and being like, this is going to be the next serial killer. Like, he's going to be the most prolific killer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think so? If it's the like, if it's just us, but an evolved version of us that just had technology that was like, let's make a simulation. Do you think they went through all of this stuff? Do you think they had serial killers and?
Absolutely.
So they're just like recreating their lives.
Absolutely. Because what do we do? I'm going to put this in a certain way. With our video games that we have now, what do we do? How do we make them? We make them about fantasy. We make them about, sports. We make them about this. So there's a bit of reality, and then there's some of that's super far out of reality. And then what have we been doing? We've been creating more virtual reality games, and we're getting better and better about that. Okay, so then
So what happens whenever we create a simulation inside of a simulation? Because like we kind of already are doing that with VR.
But see, that's yes, for sure. But I think we could be even getting to the point where we are the people who are going to be, if this isn't a simulation, we are a part of that process.
Or maybe we're stuck in a loop.
Maybe we are stuck in a loop.
So this is us kind of becoming sentient. Like, every time someone starts talking about if this is true, if simulations are real, then this is us becoming sentient, and the person that's programmed us is starting to think, it's like Westworld all over again. They're just thinking, all right, it's time to get them out of here. Like, either like go have them get hit by a bus or like do something.
Nah.
You think that they're just like, yeah, let them believe.
Let them ride it out.
Let them ride it out for another 60 years, and then when they die, they're going to be like, you were right.
Yeah. No.
When you're 25 years old, you got it.
But no, like, I think, but that's just it, though. What is it? It's not going to matter. It doesn't, like, you could literally go, like, that's what it is. That's what it is. Like, oh, man. Next day, go to work. You're just going to get shit on at work.
Yeah.
You're going to immediately forget about it. You're going to be like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah, you're going to go to work and be like, well, I guess I have nothing to do. Why the fuck couldn't you just give me something to do?
So
just drop something on my lap, man.
Yeah, like I don't think it's like a they figured it out, eject, like I don't think it's that. I think it's literally like you could let it ride out. I think the only time where it'd be like, yeah, we need to figure something out is if like you see something start glitching and whatnot. But that would be the only time. But what I was saying earlier, and we don't have to go too much farther into this because I know we've been going for a minute. We might be getting to that point because the more and more that we're doing with technology, it's kind of crazy. And there was a sentence said the other day, and I was like, well, that just seems crazy, but it does kind of make sense. Is that like we're already technically cyborgs?
Do you mean because of like going to the doctor and like possibly getting like a prosthetic? Is that what you mean?
That, and just we already have things that like pacemakers that can control people's hearts, and we always have our phones on us.
You pulled that out like it was just out of thin air.
It was in my lap, but like we always have our phones on us. So like we're halfway there of being cyborgs. Like the only thing it's not doing is we don't have it actually in us, but some people do. And then they're gonna have stuff like what the fuck's the thing Elon Musk is working on? Do you know about that?
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Eon?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Gatorade's getting me wild. I speak better when I drink. Oh my God, what the hell is it called? Neuralink. Have you heard about this? Oh, Andy.
The only thing I could think of was like holograms, but what is a Neuralink?
Andy.
Is it like in your brain somehow?
Yes.
Have you ever you've watched Black Mirror? No, there's an episode which is like a really interesting episode. I wish they went into more depth with it. It was like just like a very short, like 15 to 20 minute clip in like one of the episodes. It's about a surgeon that uses this like helmet. He puts it on him and then he puts it on the person that's like in pain to figure out what's wrong with them, and that's how he can. It's a really cool episode. And then he starts having sex, and he's like, I can feel what it feels like to have sex as a woman now. And then it leads to him killing someone, but putting the helmet on them before he does it because he wants to feel that pain. And it's such a cool premise, but they don't go anywhere with it. It's just like the episode ends just kind of like that. And that's kind of how those episodes are. There's like some of them have no like gratifying closure to it, but just such an interesting like kind of thought. But what's what was it?
Neuralink.
Okay.
So that's been something that he's been working on for a while now, and as of right now, it is just for helping people out. But in the future, it could enhance our abilities. Abilities really just meaning like downloading data into our brain and into our system.
So it's like a knowledge thing, like educational. Could be.
Yeah. So, but as of right now, it is literally going to be pretty much like a chip that they're going to. I'm going to say chip. It's not really.
I know, but like this is like it's going to be people like getting the COVID shot all over again.
Kinda, but. So they're it's actually gonna be attached in your head. So they got to drill into your head, attach it to a few.
Sounds hot.
Attach it to a few things in there, but apparently it's only like less than like a dime size, way smaller than a dime, I think. But once it gets placed in there, it's actually going to be, like I said, for the first part, it's going to be helping people with just memory loss, just loss of bodily, like function,
shitting themselves.
Yeah. But like,
man, I need one of those.
but regaining like their control of their arm that they haven't been able to move in such a long time, because it's actually going to be able to react with the body and shoot and like send signals to certain parts of the body that it hasn't been able to reach before, or just hasn't in a long time. Or like it could help people with like Alzheimer's.
So for someone. Yeah, I guess someone that's paralyzed.
Yeah, like it could literally like reroute their brain to send signals down to their leg. Or like I said, with people like Alzheimer's where they can't remember anything, it might even be able to actually give them pulses and just send signals in their brain to actually counteract what's going on and them forgetting all this.
And I've seen videos, it never like calling that out specifically, but I have seen like by the time like 2050, I mean that's pretty like fast approaching even, but like let's just call it 2050, there will be even like the technology to not get rid of Alzheimer's, but keep it from being like this disease that like really just debilitates you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've already have it. They're testing on people now.
Yeah,
with this technology, but that
it's
also
almost kind of
can lead.
scary how quickly technology can advance now.
That's just it, Andy. That's
We're
just
going
it.
back.
But that's what I mean.
We're
That's
getting back.
that's what I mean. Yeah, because now we're also. What do we have, Andy? That you generated our questions last week with,
Chat GPT. Yeah.
which is AI. We're getting there, Andy. We're getting there. That's what I mean. Like, once that bad boy's in our head, he said later down the line, we'll be able to. It would be quicker than typing it up on our phone. If we want to know something, we would think it, and it's there.
Which is also kind of interesting because you're sitting here and you're like, and you think of something, you think of someone's name or something, and you can't think of it, but then you're like, it's there, like it's in my brain. So like our brains are already doing that in a sense. Even it's like whenever you see a movie and you see like it's an actor. Whenever I was younger, I would always just say like the person, like the character that they were playing. But now, like as I've gotten older, I've learned like the actor's name or whatever. It's a little different than that, but like that's how I'm associating it. Like your brain already has the knowledge. This is just giving you the encyclopedia, basically.
It's gonna be wild.
I still can't remember that guy's name, by the way.
What guy's name?
The Two Bears, One Cave with Bert Kreischer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can picture him. Like I said, the funnier of the two, but I can't think of what his name is.
I think that's a perfect way to end it.
Well, I do want to finish off my notes here.
What else do you have?
Well, I didn't even get to it.
What do you mean you didn't get to it?
I teased it because I wanted to see your thoughts on serial killers. Because I didn't want to just get into it.
I thought the serial killer was your thing.
No, because we just went right back into the fucking simulation theory.
We were on the serial killer thing for a minute.
No, it was like 5 minutes of that.
No way.
Anyway, I'll quickly, I think we can go through it real quick. So question before I go into it. What
do I think about serial killers?
Yeah, we'll just go right back into it. We're stuck in the cycle.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head, and you can give it to me during the next episode, but I want you to think about what your last meal would be.
Oh, God. Jesus.
So while you're thinking about that, I've seen videos of this before, but I've seen like...
It's a depressing thing to just hand off to somebody.
I've watched videos of like people eating the last meals of like serial killers, and I thought it was very interesting.
It's so weird.
So I looked up the last meals of 2 serial killers. One being John Wayne Gacy.
Okay, the clown.
Yeah. His was a dozen deep fried shrimp, a bucket of KFC original chicken, French fries, a pound of strawberries, and a bottle of Diet Coke.
Wow.
So that's going into like the like you can really get whatever the fuck you want, but then there's
so much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I guess
you might as well just eat the fuck.
Fuck it, yeah.
And then I wrote down bog standard because this is just like what you get if you decide to not choose. So this was Ted Bundy. He just decided not to pick his last meal, and like I said, bog standard is a steak, eggs, toast with butter and jam, hash browns, coffee, and juice. Even that is a lot.
I mean, that's a lot, but it's kind of a solid meal.
Sounds like a really they really like they're treating them
that's what I mean.
Killers.
Yeah, like they have like a wide variety. I wasn't thinking, like bread and steak. Like I don't know. That just seemed. I guess it depends on what type. I'm literally thinking like a piece of toast.
Mhm.
You know, I'd be like, give me some like nice loaf of bread or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So
interesting.
I since I never brought this up to you, I thought about it for a little bit. My last meal would definitely be my mom's meatloaf. That's like the first thing that comes to my mind. But I thought it would be interesting. I know I saw a lot of people do it for just like the major serial killers, like for the last meals. But I thought it'd be interesting for us to look into even like smaller named serial killers of like their last meals. Just because like one, we're eating something. And two, it's fascinating.
I mean, I'll gladly.
I'll eat.
I'll gladly pick apart some people's last meals. I mean, that's wild, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would probably have to do pizza. And I mean, at this point, now that I know that I could just get whatever, I would get pizza, a sub, and probably a steak on top of it.
You're just going with a.
I'm going with the wide variety, boy.
You know what you should do? You should get a sub from Jimmy John's. Is what you should do.
Fuck that. That's what I'm gonna. Yeah, and risk my last meal being a fucking piece of bread? No, because I guarantee they would go there and they would say, "Hey, do you have this for this last guy's meal?" And they're gonna be like, "We got whole wheat."
What's his name?
Yeah, we got.
Oh, Isaac? Fuck no.
Yeah. We got some on whole wheat. Yeah, I guess. Is that okay? Is it on whole wheat? I'm not taking my fucking chances with my last meal in the hands of Jimmy John's. Hell no.
I almost had Jimmy John's for the first time, but I decided against it. I felt like it was because I felt like it was too much of a risk. Tom Segura.
Dang, you remember? Did you really just remember that right now?
I just looked it up.
Oh,
I had to look it up.
Damn it, Andy. God damn it.
I just, like, for some reason, I kept getting Joe Rogan back in my head. Like, it just kept, like, it would not. Yeah.
Damn. I was really going to say it right at the end when we were ending it. Fuck, we might as well end it now, Andy.
Yeah, no, that was it. I wanted to end it with that.